Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to be discussing video game remakes. More specifically, I will be going into why I believe that games that are being remade don't always have to be the same as the original. Now, sometimes remade games could help fill in some questions and create opportunities for things that were never present in the original games. Basically, this entails that a game being remade is not a one-to-one of the original's game. If you guys are wondering what a one-to-one remake means, it basically means everything that was in the original game when it was released, with just some improved graphics and maybe some minimal additions to the game. I will also go into some examples of bad remakes or remakes that I believe didn't really live up to their potential. Spoiler warnings ahead if you guys have never seen these games before. To start, a game remake that is very recent right now, and not a one-to-one carbon copy of the original, is the remake of Final Fantasy VII. At this moment, with having Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, we can see that there are very few things that the creators of the game have added that weren't present in the original games. One example, for instance, is that Zack is alive. He was never alive in the original Final Fantasy VII back in 1997. He was killed off while fighting Shinra troopers. However, as of right now, it seems that Zack is alive and well. Let me read you two statements that support this claim. The short answer is yes, Zack Fair is alive in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. However, the circumstances behind his survival of the Shinra military attack outside of Midgar are more sinister due to Sephiroth's actions at the end of the remake. Timelines have diverged. Originally, Zack dies fighting Shinra troopers, but because the party defeats the Whisper Harbinger at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, events in the past, present, and future are altered. Remake's ending cutscene shows that Zack survives the battle and helps Cloud make his way towards Midgar. Furthermore, in supporting my claim, at the end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we see Cloud and Sephiroth in some type of new time space, which might suggest that we're going to have a multiverse now. A multiverse, if some of you guys are wondering, is a theory that suggests our universe, or let's say the in-game universe, is not the only one, and that there are many other universes that exist parallel to each other. These distinct universes within the multiverse theory are called parallel universes, basically leading to different theories, leading to different multiple viewpoints of what an ending could happen, meaning multiple endings to multiple current routes, or multiple different routes. I will also say, one of the things I wished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth had added was Cloud putting Aerith in the water once she died and got stabbed by Sephiroth. Sadly, they took that part out of the game, which is very weird to me, and I don't really understand why. Because in Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, it shows us a glimpse or a foreshadow of Cloud literally putting Aerith in the water of what would happen to her if they couldn't stop Sephiroth. Another example of a game that is very different from the original is Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. This game now introduces Mega Evolutions. It's something that never existed in the original. As well as something that the remake took out was the Battle Frontier. Now, I have some statements that Pokemon didn't bring back because it wasn't fun for consumers, or it wouldn't be fun for consumers. In this statement here, it explains that no, Masuda claims kids will get frustrated and bored, which is why it wasn't in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. That is a lame response from Masuda, that the time to bring back the Battle Frontier was the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire. Now here's a Q&A statement that I found with Masuda. Question: why wasn't the Battle Frontier in the remakes? This question is connected with my previous answer. We didn't put the Battle Frontier in ORAS for this very reason. Interviewers note, in short, he means that they didn't include the Battle Frontier because only a very smart part of the players would have fully appreciated or made use of the feature, Nowadays, players get bored and frustrated more easily, and they aren't interested in things that are so demanding/challenging. Now, there is an example of a remake game that many people didn't like and did not live up to its full potential, and that remake is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Many people didn't really like this game very much because the lack of platinum content like the Distortion World, no new extended content from the original game, and the game being a faithful remake, which didn't make people too excited to play this game. Not to mention, for a $60 game, people felt the effort poured into the game felt very lazy and very uninspiring. With the game giving nothing too special, many people were super disappointed, especially for a game that came on the Switch that people felt looked more like a 3DS game rather than the Switch game. For me, a game that was remade really well is Resident Evil 4, a game that was released on March 24th, 2023. This game had great visuals, the character models, the game models, everything had great details, and the setting and the environment of the revamped game now was truly outstanding, and it fit well with the modern times of how games are being developed right now. The game brought a sense of horror and satisfaction for many consumers. They made Ashley a more enjoyable character than she was in the original. In the original, if you guys played it or just watched somebody play it before, you would have seen that she was a really annoying and immature character. But in the remake, in my opinion, she is pretty good. Now, in the remake, she becomes more of a mature lady, and I think a little bit more fun to have around. And honestly, a very good remake, and probably one of the best remakes I've seen, as of right now anyway. Another example that isn't going to be game related that I will give is, if you guys watch anime, the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc. The anime version and the manga version of it are completely separate things from each other. If you guys kept up with the anime and read the manga since the 1000 Year Blood War arc was announced and released by Taikubo, you notice that there are some scenes that wasn't present in the anime that is present now, and vice versa. Some scenes that were cut off in the anime that was present in the manga. Some reasons were because of his declining health and his strict deadline to finish the manga quickly. This obviously caused the manga to be rushed and many questions unanswered and left the readers confused on some parts. Luckily, the anime had added some amazing new scenes that helped the anime and enhanced the viewing for consumers. For example, we saw a glimpse of the original Gote 13 now, and we saw Senjimaru's Bankai, and the Zero Division doing a little bit more in the anime than just talking shit in the manga and then getting their dick pushed in like 1 or 2 chapters. Just to name a few. But overall, I don't believe that remakes of a game have to be the same as the original. If the remakes can fill in some questions that were never answered in the original game, or if they had added more content that helped flesh out the story and narrative and enhances gameplay and consumer satisfaction, then I see no problem. If remakes of games are not particularly one-to-one or being the same or parallel to the original version, I think that's a good thing. I think some changes are needed to keep the games fresh, which allows to bring back old consumers and bring back new consumers for the product. And I'm saying this not just for upcoming remade games, but for future remade games as well. They should always try to not only try to hopefully appease to the old consumers who wants to come back to the games with better graphics, but try to pull in new consumers with this new remade games. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.